And we're back. Hello, everybody. What's up? I am Jay with Guilty of Crime, and good to see you guys. Come on in, everybody. Let's go. Let's get hyped up. Come on in, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't, get a membership if you can. What's up, everybody? There's a lot of people in here today just chilling, y'all. Y'all interested in the 911 domestic dispute months before the double homicide? And then the wellness check. Was the wellness check an overreaction? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. And I know a lot of smarty pants people in the house, a lot of smarty pants come in and like, I already saw that. This is what it is. Well, guess what? We're going to break it down. We're going to break all of it down. We're not just talking about the 911 call. No, not just that one 911 call. We're going to go over all the calls, and we're also going to go over something that really struck me the last time I was covering this, like 2 days ago, that wellness check. It really just seemed like overreaching or an overreaction. Why would someone at a few minutes call and insist that they go and check, and then cops go and they come back and they recheck? It just doesn't make sense to me. Don't worry if y'all don't know what I'm talking about and you haven't been covering this case. Well, we're talking about murder mystery, justice for Spencer and Monique Tepe. We don't even know what justice means at this point. We know what it looks like for killer to be caught, a killer or maybe killers, but we have no idea because this crime scene didn't have a break-in. It didn't have a door broke. It didn't have the garage kicked in. It didn't have glass. There was nothing to show that there was a sign of break, and no money was taken. Nothing like that was disturbed. Dogs still in the house and two children crying, 1 and 4 years old. So I hope that I'm able to set this scene up so you all understand what we're looking at today and the magnitude of this case. And again, I ask you, if you were here with me a couple of days ago, I said, why in the hell? I've seen people do wellness checks, but I've never seen someone be so adamant over and over again, unless maybe either A, you know something. And now I'm not saying that these people were involved that called at all, but do they know something that we don't know? Because I got to tell you what, the Tepe's brother-in-law, guys, the Tepe's brother-in-law is on every news station right now, and he seems to know a lot. How does he know so much and yet nothing at the same time? So, I mean, we're just going to talk about all that today. Again, my two main points, even though we have an FBI specialist that's going to break down the person of interest, how they move, why was somebody out there that time in the morning with below 20 degrees? Could that just be a pedestrian walking by, or is it something more? That's what we're talking about today. That's why you come here for Guilty of Crime, so we can break it down and go deep for y'all. Let's go. How y'all doing today? Come on in. I was cold when I first started. I'm sitting back there freezing. I put this hoodie on, and now I'm all hyped up and warmed up. Let's go. Come on, guys. How you doing? Hit that like button. Come on in. Subscribe if you haven't. Get a membership if you can. The goal is up today. You guys know the drill. Rachel, last year, me and my sister did a wellness check on our stepmom and found her dead on the bathroom floor. Prayers to you for that. I'm sorry you had to go through that. But when we're talking about and discussing the wellness check and possible overreaching, tell me what you think, how you would go about that. All right. So let's say, hi, Mama Pearl. Love you. Amethyst, good to see you. You say, I still think someone from the dental office is involved. Now, Amethyst, here's the deal. We're going to go over that because these 911 calls have people from the dentist office being insistent. But why so insistent? Now, the 911 call previous, we know the domestic 911 dispute that was months before. Now, listening to the voice of the callers from 911 previous in April, and then listening to the calls now, it surely is not the Tepes calling 911. In fact, it was a party that was ongoing. But what does that mean? If there's a lot of people, and everybody says there's a lot of people going through the Tepes house, guys, a lot of people go through the Tepes, all right? They have parties. That was the hangout spot. I'm telling you. All right. So what do they know? What more do they know? And why are police being so quiet about it? All right. There's a lot. I got a lot of questions today. So come on in, guys. DJ Autistic, what's up, my friend? Good to see you. Miles Fox, how you doing? Everybody else, Sherlock Homegirl, how you doing? The office was so over the top, but why? What's up, Jen's a Gypsy? Just rolled back in. All right, let me break some stuff. I asked you guys a lot of questions at the beginning of the show, and I'm definitely going to give you guys more answers. Now, listen, guys, police received at least 4 calls. Listen, 4 calls from colleagues and loved ones starting at 9 a.m. on December 30th. That was before Spencer and Monique's body were found on Tuesday. All right, or found Tuesday. Now, the investigation of the deaths of Spencer and Monique Tepe, several calls have been released, including the 4 calls that we're going to go over today and a prior call from months earlier in April that everybody made a supposition that it was, in fact, Monique and they were having domestic violence problems. We're going to go over that. Now, calls from December 30th, where the bodies were discovered, are very interesting because of the overreaction, in my opinion, of those calls. All right. I've done wellness checks and we know that, Blueberry. We haven't even got into it, but that call is not from Monique, which I've already said like 3 different times. So I'm going to explain to you again why it's not. It's absolutely not Monique and what we know about it. All right. The brother-in-law is all over not only STS Blueberry Hill, but brother-in-law is on channel 6, channel 9, crime, News Nation, Drop Dead Serious. This guy is all over every freaking channel talking about the Tepes. And I'm still wondering how he knows so much and nothing at all. Right, Shane, good to see you, my friend. How you doing? Thank you. I appreciate you. So yeah, there's a lot of shadiness going on. This case has more questions than answers. So I can say that. So listen, authorities get these 911 calls in the morning. The initial request for a wellness check, guys, was at 9:03 a.m. by Dr. Mark Valrose. Now that's Spencer Tepe's employer at Athens Dental Depot. He called 911 because Spencer had uncharacteristically failed to show up for work. Now, the Dr. Mark Valrose, noted that not being able to reach Monique was particularly concerning, which is concerning to me because why would he say that about her? Does that mean that he knows something? Maybe, and I'm just making these suppositions. Does Dr. Valor think that Monique might be in trouble if she doesn't answer because she told him something? I mean, what is this overreach? Just an hour and some instances just minutes passed. Okay, now reports of the children crying came 53 minutes later after the police initially checked the home and left with no one answering the door. A coworker or friend of the scene then called 911. The report heard children inside the house and one yelling, but they weren't able to enter. All right. Now, discoveries of the body came literally 60 minutes later, guys. 60, 1 hour later. I mean, these people he wasn't even an hour late. And then an hour later, people are storm trooping your house. What is the urgency? That's what I want to know. What's up, Jinx? Good to see you. Teresa, how you doing? Yeah, there's a lot of questions in this. There's a lot of questions, more questions than answers. Now, why was it that they were so insistent in that hour time frame, and before that, in the hour time frame, that he was late? Then an hour later, a friend of the couple, identified in some of the reports as Alex Diddy, he called 911 in a state of distress. Now, he reported seeing a body inside, stating he's laying next to his bed in his blood. All right. So that's what prompted 911. 911 said, what's the difference? Cops have been out there. People are calling. Why are you calling now? What's the urgency now when they were just out there? All right. So, and again, we're going to get all into that, but I just want you guys to pick up what I'm putting down in this case. Why do so many people so many things and nobody know anything all at the same time? He was not in the house at the time. He was not in the house. Nobody was in the house. They called back 911. You'll listen to that, and revealed that he saw Spencer laying in blood on the floor. Now, prior domestic dispute call was from April 15th, 2025. That's 8 months before. Records released in the January 2026 revealed the 911 call was placed from the Tepe residence 8 months before the killing. All right. So that's what we're going to talk about first. Then we're going to talk about the wellness check and overreaching. FBI is identifying the person of interest and what that means, what it means to be walking outside at 2 to 5 in the morning in less than 20-degree weather when no one else is. All right, I gotta take this off now. I put a hoodie on, and now it's too hot. Good to see you, Mab. How you doing, my buddy? Hope Mrs. Mab is doing well. All right, so lots of things going on. That the call prior gives you an idea of the parties going on in the house. It wasn't them, but they did have a lot of people over many times. Now listen, the prior domestic abuse call was not Monique. We're going to listen to that. You'll hear the voices. That call was at 2:45 in the morning, and an unnamed female called 911 and then hung up. When the dispatcher called back, the woman was crying, but she insisted she was okay and just emotional. Now, the caller told the dispatcher, me and my man got into it, but then clarified that nothing had turned physical. So she then requested the dispatcher to cancel, and that was it. So now they're looking up these 911 calls, and this comes up. All right. Now we jump forward to January 2026. All right. Updates. And double homicide we're looking at. Police are investigating the deaths as a double homicide of Spencer and Monique, who you see on here. They've ruled out that this is a murder, unaliving. Okay. Now, on January 5th, just 2 days ago, there's a person of interest named. There's police surveillance footage in that. And this guy's wearing a light colored pants and a dark hoodie, walking nearby alley between 2 to 5 a.m. on the day of the killings. All right. So why is somebody meandering around at the scene of the crime in negative 20-degree weather? It doesn't make sense to me. And if it doesn't make sense, something's not right. All right. So I hope that you guys know where we're at now. I hope you guys are caught up. I've got everything you need to know. And then we are going to talk about this brother-in-law and why he knows so much. He's on STS right now talking about the cause of death and the person in the true crime. He was talking about the 911 that was called 8 months before was a different woman at the Tepe at a house party, which goes to show you guys that people were at that house often and that it was just an emotional mental episode. So that is how we find out that caller is not, in fact, Monique Tepe. All right. So buckle up, grab your stuff, get a drink, get something to eat. We're going for a ride. Let's go. All right. Let's take a look at this. I got a lot of different things today. I'm jumping around to the topics. We're not like just stuck on one episode because there's so much information. We're going to start with that 911 call. Let's debunk this garbage right from the beginning. This is not Monique Tepe, and this was not a domestic violence call for these two.
Here in just a moment, but I want you to hear the rest of this call that was released by Fox News Digital.
Now, let me go back a little because I missed. Let's just
emotional.
Now
hold on. Let's go back to about right
discovered
here.
by Fox News Digital.
Hello?
Hi, this is 911. We just got a hang-up call. Is everything okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm okay.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm okay. Sorry.
Okay, well, it sounds like you're crying. Do you need police, paramedics, or anything?
No, I'm okay. I promise. I'm just emotional.
Now, the call was made on April 15th at 2:45 in the morning.
All right, and that's where we just left off on when I was giving you guys the rundown. Now, listen, guys, I'm going to take a minute I want to take a minute and a moment of silence and a prayer for Miss Ann Horn. Okay. Miss Ann Horn is part of this community on YouTube and true crime. I was so lucky to have just dealings with Miss Ann Horn, who passed away this morning from her battle with, I believe, cancer. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Miss Ann Horn, I started talking to when we were on Turtle Island on Dolly Vision, and she was trying to win Turtle Island this year, but Mab took the win. She wanted to win because she knew that she was dying and she wanted to be the Turtle Island queen. Now, Dolly did make her a belt, which was awesome, and I hope her family keeps that forever. But Miss Anhorn passed in the arms of Jesus. Thank you, Mab. So let's just say a quick prayer. I mean, I didn't know the lady, but the few times I talked to her, it's already making my eyes water. So just a quick moment of silence for her, okay, guys? Rest in peace, Miss Ann Horn. All right, guys, let's do this, or I'm not going to be able to get to this. I'm not going to be able to report on this. Wyatt, thank you. Very, very sad to hear. I knew that's what was coming, and I'm glad that she didn't suffer longer than she needed to. So may she rest in peace. And thank you for letting me know. I heard that she was not so good yesterday. She stopped eating, but it's just so sad anyway. Like, you never want to hear that, ever. So to say a prayer for her family and her and everybody else that has been affected by this. All right. I was going to give her my belt, but Dolly gave her one, so I kept mine, but there was no way I was going to accept the belt unless she got one. And that's awesome, Mab. I know you. I was teasing you on that one. I'm so glad that she got that belt. She knows it's there and her family will have it. So anyway, that's making me, let me hit this play. You guys say a prayer for her. This is not, I can cover cases all day long where I don't know these people or I'm not affected by, that. But hearing this at the beginning of the show, I'm like, dang, guys, that's rough. All right, let me play this for a minute so I can get my concentration back.
April 15th was a Tuesday. The family of Spencer Tepe is giving some context, though, on who you're hearing in this phone call and the circumstances surrounding it. And I'll tell you that here in just a moment. But I want you to hear the rest of this call that was released by Fox News Digital.
Okay. I don't need nothing.
Well, can I ask what had you call 911 on the phone?
Now, some of these places that you're hearing this from, they're not actually playing the call. They're just reading it. So you're not really getting an idea of how her voice sounds, how she sounds, who it is, etc. So right here, right now, this is the domestic dispute from April. All right. 8 months before the murders. It was not Monique Tepe about her all right, about them. It was a party.
First place. Like, were you having an argument with
Me and my man got into it, but I'm okay, I promise.
Did anything ever get physical?
No.
You guys were just arguing, nobody hit each other?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. All right, man. Well, I have the information here. I can go ahead and tell the officers to cancel hitting over to your address there.
Yes.
If anything changes, call us back.
Okay.
Now, the woman you hear on the phone, of course, very emotional, and she says that, quote, she and her man got into it. You do notice some decent pauses there after the dispatcher asked the girl if she is okay, but based on this conversation, they decide to cancel sending over police units to the house. Now, the family of Spencer Tepe is saying that the girl that you hear there, that is not Monique Tepe. And they're also providing some context as to what was going on at the Tepe house, really not just that night, but early in the morning, this 2:45 phone call on a Tuesday in April. Now, we'll have that for you here in just a moment. But as we continue to follow that development and look at whether it has anything to do with what happened to Spencer Tepe.
Now, Rob Mesley is the one that we got the wedding photos and the video from. Again, pay attention to this guy that's hopping from station to station, giving interviews and saying, pretty much the same things. He says a lot, but doesn't know a lot. And guys, and he insists that this was a targeted attack on the couple in the way that it happened. All right. And again, that brother-in-law would know a lot more than we do about their gambling habits, maybe they're swingers. You know what I'm saying? I'm just making this up. I don't know what the Tepes did in their personal life. I don't know if they went to sex clubs and did swinging at night. We have no idea what they did. We don't know if they gambled. We don't know if they took out second mortgages on the house, how much they owed on the business. We know none of that. We don't know if they're having an affair on each other. We just don't simply know anything more than what law enforcement and this Rob brother-in-law is saying to us. So pay attention. All right, pay attention today, because there's a lot of information coming at us and a lot of assumptions because we don't actually have solid evidence. Let's go.
And his wife on the 30th. Here's what we know about the search for a suspect at this point. Now, again, Spencer and Monique Tepe, it seems like they were just so loved by so many people. This is their wedding video from 2021. It's, of course, gone viral, and it shows them on their wedding day. It appears that they are on the steps of the home where they were found dead on December 30th. It's a townhome. Looks like it was built fairly recently with a couple others next to it in an area.
Now, they were gentrifying it. I know we talked about it being in the ghetto, and after looking at everything, it was starting to change. So y'all were right about the area, but they were changing it at a rapid pace to get a better community and more people that had, had a different income sets, right? They tried to gentrify it. So that being said, let's talk about that 911 call and how it even got out there to news stations thinking that it was Monique. Now, brother-in-law Rob says, no way. That was not. It was a lady that had a mental emotional episode after drinking. That wasn't her. And then he also says that Fox News just absolutely fumbled a bunch of the information, and the call was made about a woman he says it was made years ago by a woman who freaked out after taking an edible. It's obviously not Monique's voice. He calls Fox News disgusting for putting that out there. And yesterday, Rob said that anyone can compare the voice of Monique in her wedding video to the woman in the 911 call and realize it was not Monique at all. So if anybody comes and tells you, hey, that 911 call was Monique and it was, no, it's not. We just debunked that junk. All right, let's keep going. We're going to talk about the wellness check and how overreaching it was. Then we're going to look at what investigators are saying about the killing of the two and what it looks like in that video that we're seeing of the only person of interest.
Area of Columbus, Ohio. Now, the couple had 2 children, and the children are 4 and 1 years old. That absolutely just hits you in the heart every time you say it, every time you think about these kids, because even though they were unharmed, they were in that home when all of this happened, and they were there when police eventually got into the house on the 30th and made a terrible discovery. Those kids are now with family members. Again, they're unharmed, but you have to think, no matter what direction this investigation goes, that there is going to be some trauma and therapy that they will have to deal with in years to come. Another interesting detail is that the Tepes had a dog, a golden doodle, which was also reportedly at the home. And
now listen, guys, here's another thing that, debunk that junk, because we don't want to be covering this case and thinking something way off base, that this domestic dispute became bigger and then they took each other's lives and the cops got it wrong, right? We don't want that. That's not what we want at all. What's up, Dad? Good to see you. I'm glad Chris is bringing some pizza. Danielle, why does the owner use past tense when describing how much Spencer loved working at the office? That's what we're going to go over, Danielle. We're going to listen to the 911 calls and why or if the wellness check was an overreaction. And thank you for bringing that up, because we're getting into all of that next. All right. I don't know. That's a good question. And oh, by the way, Rob, the brother-in-law, says he doesn't feel like the children. They've talked to the children and they didn't hear or know a thing. So let's cross our fingers, say a prayer, whatever you do. All right. That those children don't get affected any more than they need to. All right. All right, a little bit, and then we're going to
unharmed. The kids and the dog are now with family members. Now, what we know about Spencer Tepe is that he was a dentist in Athens, Ohio. Now, that is a pretty good commute from Columbus, roughly 75 miles.
And I was talking about that with you guys a day or two ago because that's a long drive. Now, it's not a long drive for somebody in the Bay Area. Everybody commutes. But in a place like that where housing is a lot cheaper and you're a dentist, yeah, I'm assuming he was pretty well to do. What was happening on the in-between time when he was at the office and between home? Did he stay the nights over there sometimes and then come home? What was the deal with that? Again, more questions.
That he had to make that drive to get to the office, but apparently he loved his job as a dentist. He graduated from Ohio State in 2017. He had a doctor of dental surgery degree. According to his bio on the website, he just loved being a dentist. And outside of work, he loved sports. He was a big fan of Ohio State, where he went to college, and also was a fan of the Cincinnati Bengals. He grew up in the Cincinnati area, loved playing golf, loved traveling, and he loved spending time with his family. Now, Spencer was married to Monique Tepe, who also is a graduate of Ohio State. Now, what we know about her is that professionally, she had a background in early education. Also, the Columbus Dispatch has put out there that she was married to a fellow Ohio State student, not Spencer.
And guys, we kind of touched on that, and I saw another channel doing that. What's up, Jamie? Congratulations, my girl. All right, I saw another channel touching on that. Somebody came to my channel and said, Monique was married previously for 2 years, and he divorced her and married a man. All right, so I was like, who cares? So he's a gay guy, but I don't think that's the case at all. I'm sure now, after watching the coverage, that Monique was married to a man that divorced her and married another man to keep him in the country. Now, what does that all mean for this case? I'm not sure yet. I'm really not sure how that intertwines into this story. And again, yeah, Chrissy, maybe they're swingers. Maybe they had emotional, physical triangles. Maybe swingers club in downtown Columbus. We know nothing. But you know who does? Rob seems to. What's up, Cynthia? Good to see you, my friend.
Spencer. She was married in 2015, but they divorced in 2017. They didn't have children. The Dispatch also says that the divorce was settled amicably. Now, Monique was known as Mo to her friends. She was an avid baker. She had this background in education. And Spencer and Monique, they were coming up on being married 5 years. They were married on January 30th, 2021 in Columbus. And again, in that video, you see them in the home where they were found dead. Their wedding video was shot by a family member, Rob Misla, who has now become a spokesperson for the family.
And there you go. That is absolutely the spokesperson for the family. Yeah, we got to pull out the pie charts. Let's bust out with the pie charts and figure this thing out. Because right now, I'm in this deep rabbit hole with y'all. So thank you guys for being here. I can only do this because of you. So hit that like button. It's free to do. Get yourself a membership, gift a membership, super chat, super sticker. I am ordering more books a book that I wrote. All right. And I'm going to be giving these out. I'm giving more books out. So help us get to that goal so we can give more things to you guys. All right. Mo says, I think it's the opposite. I think he married the woman for citizenship and the man for love. Interesting. But still, what does that have to do with this case? What does that mean? These two people were apparently targeted. There's no break-in. There was no robbery, nothing disheveled. The dog didn't alarm anyone. There was we don't even hear gunshots. What does that mean? The brother-in-law should just keep his mouth closed, especially when he's talking about those little babies. He was asked if he thought they were anything, they saw anything, and he said, no, that a book I wrote. Exactly. He is. There's a whole article that I found on that topic where he says it didn't affect them at all. But how does he know that? That's what I want to know. All right, let's keep going. We got a lot today.
He gave us permission to show you this video that really gives you an idea of how much this couple was loved, how much they loved each other. And that just creates such a mystery in this case, because it doesn't appear either that they had some sort of criminal record beyond some traffic tickets that would put them in a world where they would be the victim of a crime like this. Now, on December 30th, that is when Spencer Tepe and Monique Tepe lost their lives.
Columbus Police Tech 1.
All right, we're not gonna do the 911 calls here because they're not all on there. They're listening to some of them, or they're playing some of them, but not others. So let me put this digital one on I have We're going to just listen to the 911 calls. You guys are going to tell me in chat what you think about it. And then we're going to go over that about the overreaching. Was the wellness check for the murdered couple an overreaction? A criminologist says, yeah, it was. All right. But we're going to talk about that as well. Tracy, good to see you. You're in the future, my friend. All right. Let me pull this down because I don't want to get some of the calls. I want to listen to all of the calls before we get into, everything else. So here we go. Thanks to Facebook here. I try not to use plunder unless I have to. So here we go. Let's listen to the calls together and see what you guys pick up on. Number one, somebody picked up on the fact that he's using a past tense of the people that we don't know are dead yet. All right. Come on in, guys. Chill out, relax, stay for a while. All right. Let's listen up here. We're going to get to those calls right here.
Several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body.
There's a body inside.
Hold on. Let's start. On December 30th, dentist Spencer Tepe didn't show up. Concerned coworkers called 911 4 times. Now, in the back of your mind, just keep that in the back of your mind. Is this an overreaction to a wellness check that was fine?
We've got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line. Columbus Police, Tech 107.
Yes, I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home.
Where are you calling from?
Well, I'm currently in the state of Florida. I'm on vacation, but
All right. So, we're going to listen to each one as they come in. And a lot of people have listened to the 911 calls, but bits and pieces, maybe not the whole thing, not in the in the order necessarily. And then leading up to the wellness check and them finding the baby. Or I'm reading this, finding the bodies and the children being in there. All right. Okay, let's go. Yeah, this is all the way from Florida too, mind you. All right. These people are late to work. That is all that is happening right now is these people, 2 people are late for work by about an hour. Okay. So keep that in mind.
this individual, Spencer, works with me to work this morning, and we cannot get a hold of him or his family.
Yep.
He didn't show up to work?
Correct.
Okay. Does he have medical problems or?
No, and he's been reliable, and we cannot get in touch with him, his wife, his family, anybody that lives in that house.
So
His
you're
2
in
kids in the
Florida.
home. I'm in Florida. I own the business. I was informed by my employees that he was.
Okay, so it got all the way to the business owner that's concerned that he's an hour late. Now, he talks about the children being in the house, but right now he's just pretty like, hey, we need to do this. Something's right. It's escalated to the point where they called the boss and the boss called in. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird that the 911 calls late for work. That is all that's happening right now at this point. So please put that in perspective. That's it. I'm late to work all the freaking time, right? I veer off and go to Starbucks, or I'll go pick up some breakfast and I go into work. I've been there for 18 years and they love me there, but nobody, and I mean nobody, is sending wellness checks by the mass for me when I'm late. And not because they don't care, but because there's just no reason to do that unless you know something else. Yeah. Veer off to get me some Starbucks. All right. I love you guys. Hit that like button.
He's not at work, and he runs the office.
So did you receive information that he may have been involved in an accident or?
No, ma'am. I just know that he is the most, he is always on time, and he would contact us if there was any issues whatsoever. And I just don't know how else to say this. We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
And I got to ask you about that. Now, I'm glad you guys brought that up, Foxy. And many people say that when you're the healthcare business and there's a no call, no show, it's unethical. However, that being said, Foxy, I have absolutely gone to the dentist and been scheduled appointment for months and months and months. And then when the months and months and months comes and the doctor's out sick and nobody told me and I'm waiting and I've never seen anything like that. It's a dentist. You got a cavity, and I can understand being a surgery or whatever, but it's never been that important. I'm telling you, I'm 46 years old. I've been in that predicament before where a healthcare worker that's supposed to be there isn't. And I never thought that they were at home dead. All right. I'm just saying. So there's a lot of reasons that this can be why, but then there's also a lot of things that say, why was it so alarming? Yes, he's always on time. Yes, he always calls. But then he goes to talk about the wife and saying she didn't answer. Why would he even talk about her and say it's concerning because she didn't answer? Is that the backup person that always calls? I know the 911 people try to blow them off. All right, what's up, Saucy Skin CBD? Good to see you, Michelle. How you doing? All right, here we go.
Okay, we will send somebody over as soon as we have an officer available, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
Uh-huh. Okay, what's the emergency there, police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing
like
the
we already
wellness.
had a call out there. They knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell, but we can't get in. At this point, I don't know if I need to break the door in or just get in the house or what.
Again, guys, at 9:03 a.m., they didn't show up for work, so 911 called. We're 53 minutes later, and the second caller is talking about kicking the door in. I ask you, what do they know? All right. And mind you, yes, it was at least 70 minutes or miles from work. And that being said, there's accidents, whatever, right? Okay, whatever. You guys are 70 minutes, 75 miles, depending on the travel, a good hour and a half away. All right, guys. All right. There's something about Florida. I know if you guys watch that show, the Florida show, it's pretty funny. All right. There's something about the Florida vacation guy, right? I'm telling you, I literally teach my students what to do if the doctor's a no call, no show and includes a wellness check if they are or emergency contacts are unreachable for an hour. Understood. All right. But kicking down the door just seems extreme.
But,
Okay, were you out there when the police was out there?
I wasn't. I just got here about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, all right, well, we'll send them back out to you.
Okay, thanks.
Bye. Okay, what's the emergency there?
Our boss did not report to work. We haven't been able to get a hold of him for 3 hours. We are on site and we can hear
Okay,
kids
I
inside.
just talked to somebody there.
Okay, I'm just making sure somebody called.
I just talked to someone there. They're getting irritated. And I understand these people, I don't like that by any means. When I listen to the Brian Koberger 911 calls, I get irritated when dispatchers are rude or it just, but here's the thing, guys, this is what is going to make my heart sink. I really don't want to find out bad things about this murdered couple. And I feel like that's what's coming out. I feel like that this couple didn't just, it's not random. I feel like it's absolutely targeted for probably Spencer because of the attack on him and the multiple gunshot wounds. All right. And it's just not right. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I just got a call from somebody and sent it back up for dispatch.
Okay.
Are you there? Because you're not showing that you're at the
No,
location.
I'm en route there.
Okay, what is your name?
My name is Cam, C-A-M.
Okay, I'll let him know.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right. We've got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
And again, we're going to work through these, but what different position did this person go into? Did he climb up and look down into a window? Why, when the cops were there at the first beginning, they were there an hour earlier. Why the heck didn't they see the body through the window? Wouldn't they have looked? And welcome, Parker. I'm in Scotland. LA are my initials. Well, welcome to the Crime Crew family. Chrissy says, I think they both have secrets that are about to be exposed. Something tells me it has to do with extramarital relationships or financial dealings gone bad. And this is what I don't want to find out but I think we are going to, because obviously two people that got their lives taken in this way bothers me a lot to talk bad about them, right? And it's not me talking bad, but if I start finding out that Spencer was cheating on Monique and it's just bad talk about people that are no longer here. The couple is for sure hiding something and still think someone from the dental office is involved with it being so far away and them being adamant. And the BIL knows something he isn't saying. Yeah, right, brother-in-law.
Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me get you on the line with the medic, okay? Stay on the line.
Family has the kids.
Oh my God!
All right, I mean, what's going on there?
There's a body. Our friend wasn't answering his phone. We just did a wellness check. We just came here, and he appears dead.
Okay.
There's blood.
He appears
He's laying
dead.
next to his bed, off of his bed, and there's blood.
Okay, again, I don't know the layout of the house right in front of me. I showed you guys in the last episode the layout of the house. He's very specific this time. Very, very specific. All right. What's up, Mary Beth? Good to see you, my friend. And guys, I'm gonna gift 5 memberships right now. If anyone wants to match me, that would be awesome to kick off the show. I set a goal and we have a big fat 0 45 minutes in. So let's get to this, and I'm going to gift 5 memberships. If anybody or multiple people want to match me, that will be awesome. Thank you. All right.
I can't get closer to see more than that.
Okay, so you can tell he's obviously not breathing or anything.
Yeah.
Is it like huddle, like does he look like?
It doesn't look puddled. I can't look.
He can't look.
All right, I understand. Okay, and then when was the last time somebody spoke to him?
Yesterday, I suppose.
Yesterday. Okay.
Yeah.
How old is he?
37.
37.
You know what's weird is now that this person is on the phone and saying that he's dead and he saw him dead, why is that dispatcher not asking that person any questions? Wouldn't that be what you would do if the person called in and said you saw this guy that was dead on the ground? Wouldn't you ask for more information about them? What's your relation to him? What's your name? How did you see that, sir? Officers have already been out there an hour ago and they left empty-handed. Where was it that you were able to access this view? I don't get it. It just doesn't make sense. Foxy Amazon, I'm about to match you 5. Thank you. Let's keep going. God bless them. The dispatcher made many mistakes. Yes. There are several dispatchers. Many times people that call 911, guys, many times people call 911, they're the killer or involved. Why didn't they ask? What's up, Mab? Do I always have to be number 1? I'm so sick of winning. Oh, poor Mab. He's the king of Turtle Island. Thank you, Mab. I appreciate you.
Is he like a drug user or anything like that?
No,
Is he
no.
a drug user?
All right, just that's a really young age.
Yeah, I understand.
Okay. All right, we're on our way.
Okay, and he is a friend of yours, or you work with him?
Yeah. He's a friend. Yeah.
Okay, we do have officers responding there. Do you know if he's been ill or anything like that?
No, I was just with him yesterday.
Okay. Do you know if he does drugs or anything?
No.
And that's interesting because why didn't she ask too? Does he do recreational at all? I mean, she's asking, does he do drugs? I'm assuming he's not an addict. But guys, you got to remember many times as well, people do it recreationally. And when you're in a dentist's office, you get all kinds of access to all types of things. There's so many cases where I see dentists getting mixed up in drug dealings with cash and gambling, etc. So it's going to be interesting. All right. I hope you guys got the memberships. Anybody that wanted them. The first 911 call was made 8 months ago. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Michelle. Please thank her if you got one. All right, let's listen.
Okay. All right. We'll just talk to the officers when they get there, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, now we got this little girl, this cute little girl up there, which has nothing to do with this episode. So we're going to pull her down. We're going to come back to those calls. But after you listening to them just now, and thank you so much, Jen's a Gypsy, for the $2 super sticker. Listen up here, guys. Wellness check for the murdered couple felt like an overreaction. According to the criminologist, I said that yesterday. That was the first thing I said because I would be pissed. I would be livid if I was late to work or didn't show up for hours and they kicked my door in. I'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you guys? So that being said, I'm assuming they did that because they knew something was really wrong and from more than just him not coming in. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. So now we're going to talk about the overreaction and what we think of it, because when I talked to you guys 2 days ago on this case, I said the same thing. And then I saw this clip and I said, oh, so we all must be thinking this then, huh? Please thank Midnight Lace if you got a membership, and thank you, Midnight Lace. All right. Which don't ever apologize for not doing it. You only do it if you can, guys. All right. You say if he was having an affair with someone in the office, a husband or a boyfriend might have to come over to teach him a lesson. Possibly. All right. The kids were absolutely okay. They're with family members. And according to the brother-in-law, I read an article that said that he said that the kids were not harmed at all and they don't know anything. They didn't see anything. So we'll see how that turns out. Right. I don't know why that guy keeps talking. He doesn't know anything, but he knows a lot. It's weird. All right. Was that wellness check an overreaction?
39-year-old dentist Spencer Tepe and his 37-year-old wife Monique, both found shot to death in their home. Spencer shot several times, found lying near his bed. Wife shot once in the chest. Murder-suicide, cops say no. Why? No weapon was found. But they did find 9mm shell casings. So what else do we know? A burglary, maybe, but nothing was taken. They have two kids, a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they were okay. They were both home. So was the dog, okay? And again, nothing stolen. They don't show up to work. Friends get concerned. No one can reach them. They go to the home and they find.
Okay, so to me, and I'm going to say this, Foxy, this is not standard practice for 4 different people to call in and start showing up. That's not standard practice. Now, I can understand a wellness check. Like you said, you teach the students, if they don't show up, to do a wellness check. But you don't teach the students to show up and call 3 other friends and go kick in the door if law enforcement doesn't tell you that there's a reason for that. All right. So that's not a standard practice. I can tell you that. Gifted 1 guilty of crime membership. Thank you, Mary Beth. Appreciate you. All right.
Find them and hear the 911 calls.
I would like to ask for a wellness check on an individual at their home. We're very, very concerned because this is very out of character. And we can't get in touch with his wife, which is probably the more concerning thing.
What's the emergency there? Police or medical?
Maybe both, I guess. I don't know. I'm kind of doing the
We
wellness.
had a call out there.
And again, I played the entirety of them because all of these news stations are cutting in and cutting out. But this is for the effect of the conversation about the operator, the caller, what they're saying, and the overreaching. Now, Julie Bug, I'm glad you said that because the dogs didn't bark, no gunshots were heard, and there's no forced entry. Those are huge indicators that this was a targeted attack by somebody they knew. Now, guys, there's rumors going around that the Tepes were talking to someone late night, the night before, early morning. I'm going to debunk that junk right now. If you happen to run into that, that's not true. Law enforcement didn't say that, and I don't know who came up with that, but we do not have a second person of interest at this time. Philip, why is it more concerning that he couldn't get a hold of his wife? That was my question as well. Thank you. Mom, thank you for the super sticker. Choo choo. All right, let's keep going. Thank you, Mama. Mama Pearl, Dawn's, what's up? You caught alive. How you doing? Don Shoe? All right, let's keep going. Go, go, go.
Knocked on the front door and back door multiple times, and there was no answer.
Yeah, no answer. I can hear kids inside, and I swear I think I heard one yell.
We got several calls on that. What's changed since the last person I talked to?
There's a body. There's a body.
There's a body inside?
Yeah.
Interesting for several reasons. Multiple 911 calls, only an hour or so after they couldn't be reached in the morning. It's such a high degree of urgency, right? We're going to discuss that and what it means or doesn't mean. Cops released footage of a person of interest, they say, walking in an alley.
All right, we're also going to talk about that, and we're going to profile the crap out of that guy, all right? That's another thing. Everybody's switching to key codes now, guys, and many people with key codes are very giving, especially when you have parties at your house and you don't want to deal with having to get up and let somebody in or having to let somebody lock themselves out. So I'm going to tell you right now, we need to know who used that key code. Is there a log on the key codes? Do they have an alarm system? What is the ring telling? But really, who has the key code? All right. And if they didn't change the key code, then you guys already know the key code is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. Case is so weird. I know, but we're going to get the satisfaction out of finding out what happened, hopefully. And hopefully they get the justice they deserve. What's up, Total Avit Bro fan? How you doing, my friend? Chrissy says, thank you for the membership, Jay. You're very welcome. Thank you for the $2 super sticker or super chat. All right.
Near the home, it hasn't led to anything else. But now we just learned something else. Back in April, in the middle of the night, someone called 911 from the home, a female, and said, she hung up and they called her back and they said, hey, did you just call? And she said, yeah, I had a fight with my man, which I think is weird verbiage, but you may feel differently. And, but it's okay. Does this matter? Let's ask criminologist Casey Jordan. First of all, it's good to see you. Happy New Year. Second, am I a cynic or I just don't have great friends that I'm a little...
And you guys see what's happening here, right? You hear what he's saying too, regardless of whether they're in the dental or medical field, that's fine. Protocol is fine. But so many people so fast and so hard, what led to that? We're going to find out, and you know we will. All right. A lot of people use addresses or just easiness, right? 11111 or whatever. 55555. Not a good idea.
I'm a little curious about this sense of urgency just an hour past when you usually call them in the morning.
Listen, to me, the 1 hour time frame of Spencer is 1 hour late to work. So we're calling 911 for a wellness check. Always popped for me as an overreaction. I mean, I can come up with a dozen scenarios why somebody would be an hour late and not have their phone got lost, the phone is dead, something got...
All right, now this lady just didn't wake up from nowhere and start talking. She's a criminologist that talks about these cases all the time, and she's saying the same thing. Like, and right, a lot of other people are saying it. I mean, I knew it was on my mind. I knew it was on y'all's mind because when you guys watched with me 2 days ago, you guys said the same thing. You're like, that's weird. People wouldn't do that for me or whatever. And this guy's like, I guess my friends don't like me as much.
In a car accident, had a medical emergency. But they're not satisfied when the police go out there literally 18 minutes later and say, the door, we checked the front door, we checked the back door, and there's nothing. And then everyone gets up from their dental chairs and rushes to the house to investigate this themselves. Now, this doesn't mean that anyone in that practice particularly knows anything or is responsible, but it seems to be an overreaction, maybe even a reaction formation, because perhaps they know that there is trouble in paradise in that marriage.
And do you guys hear that? And I'm going to take it even a step further. Trouble in paradise in the marriage. And I'm going to take it a step further. Maybe one of the coworkers is having an affair with the husband, or he brought up the wife. Right? Or maybe they know, the boss knows, man, this Spencer guy owes me a freaking ton of money. I need to get a hold of him. He better be good because he's supposed to come in and pay me today. Whatever. We don't know. Holly says, I bet you already talked about it. Her voice in the wedding video. Yeah, it's not her, Holly. We did. And thank you for coming. My boss would call for me because she wouldn't want to work third shifts. That's funny. There you go. I mean, my boss would be upset too, but if he came and sent a bunch of people to kick my door in, I'd be pissed. All right.
And they're concerned.
So
the line that jumps out at me, Chris, is we can't get in touch with the wife.
And that's even more of a concern.
That concerns us the most.
Yeah, I picked that up also, but not in the same context as you, which is why you're you. The 911 call for.
And guys, remember, this was a 70 either mile or minute. Let's just say it's about an hour and a half away. Did they all just jump in the car and start driving an hour? Is that, I mean, what? Or were they coming from the same area and they commute? I mean, make that make sense. What's up, Boston Supports Lana? Good to see you, my friend. All right. Someone said they were having parties on the weekend. They did. They do have parties on the weekend, and they did have a party. The party was the night that woman called 911 for the domestic violence call that never went through. All right.
April. Oh, I got to go. We'll pick it up next time. I'm sorry, Casey. I'm out of time.
Okay.
I screwed up my timing. There's more to do. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll be right back. Thank you for watching.
Damn you, Chris Como. No. All right. Again, I think we've had a pretty good discussion about what we think about overreaching in the wellness check. Now, let's go back to, and we'll think about that as we go. Retired FBI explains what investigators are looking for as we profile the guy that's walking in the area of the murder scene in the early morning in the freezing weather. What is it that we're looking for? And is it even possible?
It's been 1 week since a dentist and his wife were found dead.
It has been a week. Is it even possible that guy that we see, the person of interest, is it even possible that he just committed a double homicide and can just walk so slow, meander his way? Think about this, though. There were no other people out there. Yes, ma'am. I was going to say that, too. That's why I said, did they recreationally use drugs? Because they could have said, oh, he doesn't use drugs, but, we have parties a lot. And when we party, yeah, whatever. Didn't say that. All right. Did not say that. All right. There's Spencer and Monique Tepe.
Inside their Wyland Park home.
The murders of Spencer and Monique Tepe has grabbed the attention of people all across the nation. Columbus police releasing video yesterday showing a person of interest walking behind their home around the time of the murders.
Now, police found the couple's 2 children safe inside the home. We thank you for joining us today for NBC4 at 5. I'm Jared Smollett.
And I'm Jennifer Bullock. This evening, we are hearing from a retired FBI special agent on what police may be looking at in this investigation. NBC4's crime and safety reporter Anna Hoffman joins us live now with his insights. Anna?
Jen and Jared, retired FBI agent Harry Trombitis says every piece of information is important.
All right, now remember this. This is pretty much the only real piece of evidence that we've been given is this video of a person of interest. Other than that, there's no DNA, there's no fingerprints, there's no log with people with key codes. There's none of that has been released. All right, there's got to be more. And why are they keeping so quiet? We're going to talk about that also.
He says it's like a puzzle. Investigators start with an empty board and slowly they fill in the pieces, which leads them to a suspect. One piece of that puzzle that we've seen is the person of interest video, and we walked through it together.
This is a solvable case.
Retired FBI agent Harry Trombitis has worked hundreds of significant cases in his career. So I went to him to learn what investigators.
And you guys tell me while we're doing this, what did you think about that guy that was walking at 2 to 5 a.m.? Remember, they've narrowed down a time that the couple was that was deleted out. All right. Their lives got taken between 2 and 5 a.m. They have a time frame that they're looking for. Could it even be that guy? All right. Renee says watching from the bushes, but every time I see that picture of him holding the pineapple, I can't help but get suspicious. Pineapple signifies swinging. Well, thank you, Renee, for saying that. That's interesting. I had no idea. But again, it's all on the table. There's a huge possibility of anything because we don't know. Does the husband in this guy's body have any resemblance? Does the husband in this guy? I don't know. What do you mean? The guy that was outside? What's up? 123 Grandma Faith. How you doing? All right. Upside down pineapples. Why do you guys know so much about swinging? Just kidding. I wonder if they had swingers parties in their home. Just a thought. Anything's on the table right now.
Might be looking for to solve the murders of Spencer and Monique Tepe. We started with the person of interest video. What are the important details that you're looking at?
Well, again, when I look at this video, I see an individual that, has taken some care to try to cover his face and that. I see a bigger person that...
Yeah, that body doesn't match Spencer. So for the person that said it could be him, no, it's not. If you see Spencer and you look at his height and his weight and his stature, it's definitely not him. How do we not know the wife shot him and herself once? We already know that, Giggles. That has been completely ruled out. And I'm going to tell you why. They've got ballistics right now. Number one, they've got ballistics and they've got casings, bullet casings that came from a 9mm. There is no 9mm in that house, but they are trying to match it. In that house, they had 22s. 22s are significantly smaller. That's the number one reason, is because of the ballistics. Number two, the direction of travel that she was shot in the chest or in the mass area, it couldn't be possible because of the direction. That's what I'm going to give you. So we know that she did not, this is not a murder, self-deletion thing. All right. So I'm going to give you that right now. That I can give you 100%. That's why they're ruling it out. All right. I want answers. What are you talking about? I'm going to ask questions, give answers, but it doesn't mean you're right.
Appears to be comfortable walking where they're going.
He says he doesn't see a visible weapon. He also looks at things like height, weight, clothing, and movement.
Somebody that knows an individual that maybe walks like that. That was kind of everybody has their own gait and their...
But the biggest thing, guys, is people don't just walk around in ice, cold, snowy weather in the winter between 2 and 5 a.m. It's just they don't, right? And this guy doesn't look like, you can see how he's looking. Doesn't look like he's in a hurry. We'll talk about it, but let's keep going. All right, guys. Yeah, and that's another thing, guys. You can't shoot yourself with a weapon that doesn't exist in the household. There are no weapons in that household to match the 9mm, which means there's no way that she could have took her own life and then went to hide the 9mm. All right? So that's that. What's up, Thought Criminal? Good to see you.
Their own walk.
Trumbitis says this person may not be involved in the crime, but they may know something. He says that's why neighborhood canvassing is so important in a case like this.
I want to talk to everybody in the area to see if they saw anything. It's possible somebody was out letting their dog out and they saw a guy walk by, and so you need to go out and really do a good canvass, and that would include also any businesses in the area.
He says investigators also collected crime scene evidence like DNA. Trumbitis says investigators are likely doing victimology on both Spencer and Monique to understand relationships in their lives.
You want to try to establish some type of a motive. Why would somebody want to target these two individuals? There had to be a reason why, and it had to be so severe that you would want to kill.
And again, many people look over the obvious. All right, they look over the obvious that the husband was shot several times and the wife was shot once. It was like, hey, just get her out of the way, but let's overkill this dude because this mofo's been owing me a ton of money, or this motherfucker has been sleeping with my wife, or whatever it is. They did overkill. You don't need to do multiple shots with a 9mm. And we don't even know how close they were. We don't know if it was, closer to an execution style or someone just came in. We have no idea. All right. But that's what I'm going to say, is that it was one shot to her and multiple overkill shots to Spencer. Was he trying to fight them off and so they overkill? That could be too. And yes, that means personal when they're closer up. An execution style is a closer personal thing. All right. And I'm glad I know about my weapons. That's one thing I can talk about all day long, is weapons and ballistics. That's a good topic.
one, but both of them.
He says what may be the most important is tips from the public and says no tip is too small.
I have complete confidence that they'll get this resolved. Somebody out there knows something.
Trumpetta says just because police aren't saying anything doesn't mean they don't have anything. I spoke with Columbus police today, and while they did not want to do an on-camera interview, they did tell me they're continuously receiving tips. Local for you in Columbus, I'm Anna Hoffman, NBC4.
Thanks for watching.
All right, you guys know how we do here on Guilty of Crime. Let's keep going. Yeah, Allison says you were a cop in a past life. Right. All right, hold on. All right, let's talk about that person of interest. Let's continue that conversation real quickly about this person of interest and what we know. All right. Well, in this lifetime, I have weapons and I practice. Practice makes perfect, right? Now, I really do want to know if it was up close and personal. Did they have a freaking silencer? Why did nobody in that area hear those gunshot wounds? Or gunshots, I'm sorry, not the wounds. Investigators stay silent as the person of interest seen on video, all right, in the case, and this is a week ago. All right, good to see you guys rolling on in. Come on in, hit that like button. Amethyst, I'm glad you found us too. I also love true crime. All right, you guys are talking about pineapples, and I guess it's a swingers thing. If the pineapple's upside down, is that what it means? Let me know in chat. I don't know. I don't know. I'm lost. I'm lost right now. If I didn't thank you, Debbie, thank you for the gifted membership. All right, a week later.
A Wineland Park couple was found shot to death in their home. Investigators have a person of interest they're looking for in this case. Of course, we have that surveillance video, and you're seeing it right there on your screen. Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight at 6. I'm Rodney Dunnigan.
And I'm Erin Simonak. Jessica has the night off. I talked to neighbors as the search for a suspect drags on, getting more insight on who the Tepes were before their lives were taken.
Ring doorbell cameras, Nest security cameras, and police crime cameras surround.
All right, so you're seeing that. There's cameras surrounding everything. What does law enforcement know that they're being so hush about? And why did they put out that video? All right, so pineapples are a swingers thing. I didn't know about the pineapples either, but hey, next right over is a police substation. There you go. Mary Beth says, I'm not a swinger, but I like watching. So I guess that makes me a half swinger. My pineapple would stay sideways. Y'all are too funny. Y'all are funny. If we find that out, boy, that's going to be a trip. All right. They got this person on camera for sure. Yes, Mab. That's what I'm saying. They know so much more than they're telling us, but why?
The Tepes Wineland Park property. This Nest video released by investigators shows the only look at a person of interest, calmly walking with their hood up and head down between the hours of 2 to 5 a.m. the morning of December 30th. That person was heading south, just a 30-second walk to reach the Tepes property from there. Neighbors living on North 4th.
So that he was heading towards there. He wasn't leaving from there. So did they catch that before he got in the house? That makes a big difference, guys. When I first saw him walking, I was like, would somebody really walk that calmly away from a scene where they just took two people's lives? But he's walking toward it, which makes a big difference. All right, a huge difference.
Street and Hamlet Street tell ABC6 they want to stay private as the investigation moves on. In an interview with their brother-in-law Monday, he tells me their family has full faith in investigators.
I know just in the world that we live in today, we get such information so fast and we need it, but that's not exactly how, the investigators operate. And
all right, so this is Rob, the brother-in-law. Get familiar with him because we're going to see him again and again and again. All right, we're going to see him again after this. And he was on STS, and he's been on almost every local news station you could think of. All right, this is the guy that I believe knows something more than he's saying. And he is adamant that this was a targeted attack. How do you know that, bro? How do you know? What aren't you saying?
understand that.
Police have not interviewed with ABC6 since the morning of the murders, saying they could not answer our questions on how someone entered the home and why they pulled the trigger. A week later, neighbors still stunned, telling ABC6 the Tepes would be the least likely family on the block to be targeted, leaving a lot of questions on why the murders happened.
And we still have plenty of unanswered questions as we.
Right. This lady has 4 big questions. I gave you, 14 questions? This is a brother-in-law. So I believe if it was his brother-in-law, then that means it was Monique's brother. It depends. He's just the brother-in-law, right? Lisa Lynn, good to see you, my friend. Popping in late. Hi, everybody. All right. Let's keep going. How did they enter the home? More people of interest in video. There has to be more videos. And the person of interest, is that a suspect? Can that even be the person? Is that the right time? CPD camera, did that capture anything? It had to have. It had to have.
We search for answers in this investigation. That includes, how did a suspect enter the home? Are there additional persons of interest or more videos out there? Is there enough evidence to make this person a suspect? Did the CPD camera, which is right across the street from the house, capture any activity? We'll keep pressing city leaders for answers. Remember, you can get the latest information on.
Yeah, 6 is covering this legitly. Now, off topic, which everybody is off topic right now anyway, so that's okay. I'm making Dubai chocolate this weekend. Who's got a recipe for me? All right, I'm going to switch up my email so you guys can email me, guiltyofcrimebyj@gmail.com. I don't know what y'all are talking about, but I'm going to be making some Dubai chocolate with baby Guilty, and anyone's got a recipe, come on, bring it. Unless the person knew the camera was there and went to the back and not the front. Yeah, but Amethyst, that area was covered in video. And I'm going to bet my car keys that house had a Ring doorbell and other cameras in the area. And not only that, but the neighbors have Ring cameras, etc. All right. All right. They need to come out with a press conference. Yes. Yes, Cheryl. Yes. All right. Watch. It's going to come out with the press conference as soon as I get off tonight's live. That happens every time. This all started over an innocent dessert. Pineapple. Upside down. I want some of that cake. It's good.
Our free ABC6 app.
Thank you for watching the ABC6 News YouTube.
All right. We're going to do the family remembers the Ohio couple, because the family that remembers it is Rob giving Channel 9 an interview, and it's a different interview than the one you just saw, and it's a different interview than the STS Nation. All right. I mean, this guy is just on every channel about this. So let's get into that. All right.
Police in Columbus reviewing surveillance footage, and they're searching for a person of interest in the murders of Spencer and Monique Tepe. The married couple was found shot inside their home last week while their 2 young children.
But remember, look at the house, and when you look at the housing from the 1,000-foot view, you can see the spacing between the houses and the way the road runs. There's a lot of cameras everywhere. They're everywhere. They're not just in the front. There's cameras on the other side of the place. There's so many different possibilities of where the camera could be. I don't know how you can get around them. That's what I want to say. And yes, prayers for those little children, 1 and 4 years old. Thank God they weren't harmed. All right, Jay. Justin didn't know what the pineapple meant neither a while back. Funny as fuck. Sorry. No, you're good. I had no idea. I'm not a swinger. So no. I've been married for 20 years. Oh, no. Married 17, together 20. I don't know nothing about no swinging, y'all. If this ever happens to me, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm not a swinger. You can rule that out. It's going to be a targeted attack. Mary Beth, it's my ADHD. I got ADHD too. Don't worry about it. All right, let's go.
Slept nearby. No arrests have been made. And tonight, we are the only station in Cincinnati to sit down and talk with the family as Spencer's brother-in-law shares who they were, the heartbreak left behind, and the push for justice.
How does this happen? This is such a rare thing, and 2 people that, not a single person could say a bad word about them, are killed in their home.
Rob Misla is Spencer and Monique's brother-in-law. 1 week ago, his wife got the call that.
And how does he know that not a single person can say one bad thing about them?
Changed everything.
It was her dad on the phone saying that Spencer is dead. And then finally I said, well, where's Monique? Where are the kids? And he said, well, Monique is dead too.
Misla describes Monique and Spencer's magnetic pull, their inclusive spirit, their gift of gathering friends and family.
It sounds like he's her brother-in-law if he's talking about her dad. He didn't say it like he was related. So I don't know. This Rob guy is acting more like Chris Watts, right? It's weird. It is really weird. Apparently somebody could. Y'all are funny. Y'all are funny right now.
They were always having people over. They were just the center of a huge community of friends and family that they were the glue.
Okay, so listen, that's a huge key piece of evidence in this case, guys. When your house is the party spot, you're the main hub, you're the entertainment, people come, people go. They said that. They've been saying that. So now tell me who had access, who had the key code, and how many people came over and how often. All right. All right, let's keep going. We learn a lot, don't we? Knocking, we don't know. Go knocking at the RV's rocking if it's an upside down pineapple, right? You guys are funny. Yes, I'm the glue. Exactly. You got it, Mab. You got it.
A filmmaker, Misla, captured their 2021 wedding at their Columbus home, where they were also murdered. Their 2 children, ages 4 and 1, asleep down the hall. Misla tells me the kids are being well taken care of, but their lives are forever changed.
We don't know how to tell a 4-year-old that they're never going to see their mom and your daddy again. It's how do you? And how does the 4-year-old understand?
Misla tells me he is hopeful the police will catch Spencer and Monique's killer soon.
It just seems like it was not a random act where somebody broke in and this, trying to steal stuff. Like, it just seems a lot more intentional than that.
Personal,
yes. Just unbelievable.
And in another statement, quote unquote, he says that he knows it was a targeted attack. All right. He talks a lot. Brother-in-law was asked if anyone had a grudge or something along those lines, and he said, I can't speak on that. There you go. They're little bits and pieces. Mo's a member for 12 months. A year, a secret crime crew member. If they really are swingers, they probably don't have doorbell cameras for privacy yet, said parties. My theory. Well, let's keep going on that one. I'm gonna leave that alone right now. He sounds like Chris Watts too. If they were swingers, maybe Spencer's boss was in the circle. He called from Florida out of concern. Yeah, it's really weird. Sad for the children. He seems too calm. He talks a lot.
Really disgusting that somebody could do something so evil.
If you could say something to the person or persons who did this, what would it be?
You think that you just took 2 lives, but you took so much more than that. You took a daughter and a son, a brother and a sister, cousins, nieces, nephews, aunts, uncles, friends, and obviously 2 amazing parents, 2 just innocent children who will never know them again. So you just took so much more.
Police say the investigation into Spencer and Monique Tepe's deaths remains active, and we're going to continue to follow any developments that happen in this case. Again, it happened in Columbus, but Spencer Tepe grew up here in Mason.
Right. A lot of connection.
So it happened in Columbus, but he has connections to that particular area. Okay. All right. Let's do this real quick. I just want to quickly go over this article, not because the 911 call. We have already debunked that situation, but I want to go over this. I put a poll up to see if you guys needed a recap on everything we know, and I'm going to assume that it's a yes right now. So we're going to take a look at that in a minute here, but I do want to talk about the timeline just to nail that down for you in the latest when it comes to that. So let's do that together. Thank you guys for being here. Teresa, I don't know what's up with this guy, but I guess we'll find out as we go. All right, so let's just take a look at this real quick. We now know, guys, and if you just rolled in here, that 911 call at the dentist home reported domestic dispute months before. That was not them. That was not Monique, and that was not Spencer. It was two people or a person at a party. All right. Now here's the 911 call that was reported. The 911 call that we heard at the beginning of this. And now we're going to roll down to here. We're not going to go over the transcript because we just saw that. But 911, we got to hang up. Everything okay? You can see the transcripts. And this was the one from the Because Me and My Man got into it. When I heard that, I was like, wait, wouldn't she say her husband? It didn't sound right. And it wasn't. It was somebody else. It was another couple. And should we know about them? Should law enforcement reach out to the person that called 911 from that household and ask, what is the dynamics when you're at a party, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? I really hope they're doing that. Truth Seeker Jacqueline, what's up, girl? Glad you made it. All right, kind of people you having at your parties. Oh, man. All right. So that's what happened there. That was not them. It was somebody at the party. But what do they know? They've been to the parties. Tell us about the parties and what kind of people are there. All right. So we got that. And I want you guys to take a look at the murder timeline real quick. I mean, that's a big deal for me when I see that the first 911 call was made at 9:03 in the morning, and they're starting to freak out. 9:03 a.m. is the first 911 call. Then by 9:57 a.m., just 54 minutes prior, Tepe's friend calls 911 from their house and says they can hear kids. All right. Remember, mind you, cops had already gone over there and they had already left. They told everybody that they didn't find anything. No one's answering. So they call back and everybody starts calling. They're going to call 4 times. All right. Now, 9:57 a.m., that's when they can hear the kids. So that made it more urgent. By 10:13 a.m., bullet casings are found by the police. 9mm bullet casings that don't have a gun to match. All right. Now, the reason I put this up is because I want to ask everybody, if you're from the area, if you know anything, reach out to law enforcement. They're looking for police are requesting video from neighbors or witnesses from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. the morning that they found those bodies. All right. Now, 9:22 a.m., Columbus Police Department arrived at the Tepe's house. Now, that's from this call. So at 9:03 a.m., I believe they called 911 to do a wellness check, and then Columbus Police Department goes and nothing happened. All right, nothing happened, and people start freaking out. By 10:04 a.m., just a little bit over an hour from the first call of 911, another one of the friends calls and sees the bodies inside of the house. But still, nobody asked, how did you see them? Officers went by. We've had multiple callers. What happened? All right. Yeah, it's sus. You must discuss. I like that. All right. So not even an hour, just at 61 minutes later, bodies are found. All right. So 10:03 a.m. when Spencer's friends called, we know that that's what kicked off the everything, really. And that's when he says there's a body. The person could be heard saying our friend wasn't answering his phone, so we just did a wellness check. We came here and it appears he's dead. He's laying next to his bed, off of his bed in his blood. All right. So he was hanging off the bed in blood. He says, I can't get closer to see more than that. So he obviously wasn't inside the home. All right. Police seek suspect after dentist and wife are found shot dead at home while 2 young children are unharmed. Thank God. All right. So in the statement released Friday, the couple's family said they're heartbroken and beyond words. Tragic and senseless. That's a couple good words for this. We saw that. They're extraordinary people whose lives were filled with joy and deep connection to others. Spencer, a graduate of Ohio State University, was a devoted and proud father, a loving partner, and a friend to everyone he met. The family statement added that he was intelligent, warm, and endlessly welcoming. Right? And that's them, and we're looking for who did this. Right? So let's get into that. Let's drop this one out, and we're going to go over everything we know thus far. All right? Or wait, actually, I don't even know what the poll said. I do have actually wanted to go over something else because we got a couple of experts talking about this from 6 hours ago on Banfield, and I actually wanted to share that with you because when we listen to what the experts are saying about the people that came to the house, the thing going on, it really gives you key information about this case without actually knowing, right? And that's what we're doing. The police haven't released much of anything. All right, hold on. All right, I'm gonna pop onto this. We're gonna listen to these experts and then we'll do that. All right. Just finished with Stranger Things. All right. I've been watching that, but it got a little slow for me. All right. Interesting. The owner calls and makes sure he says on the 911 call he's in Florida. Great alibi. Interesting. I didn't catch. I caught the Florida part, but I didn't catch that. I normally catch that about someone's trying to set up an alibi. Interesting. Thanks for bringing that up. And I might have had a thought about that, but I just didn't say it. So thank you. All right. Let's go here. We already saw this, so I want to fast forward a little bit to getting those experts in because the other expert got cut off. All right. Right after we look at some baking things, then we're going to get into this. Thank you, Miss Drop Dead. All right, this guy. Wait, did we already see this one? No. We didn't see this because I brought this up. All right, let's listen to this. This is what I want you guys to listen to. We got two experts on here right now talking about the killings.
Create how that conversation might have gone. I didn't hear, but there's some indications and descriptions that the woman is crying in this call. So let's just take it from there. What does that tell you as an investigator?
Well, obviously, she was distressed enough to call 911. So at that moment that she's calling 911, she was in fear of being harmed because that's why you call 911 in those type of situations. I assume they played that tape for the family members and said, is this the wife? Do you recognize this voice? They could have had friends over. They could have people staying at their house. I don't know. They'd have to go back 9 months and see if they were living in that house or if they had guests there or whatever. And then you play the tape and say, is this her voice? Is this the wife's voice? Because certainly even if she's upset, the family members should be able to recognize her voice.
All right. We know that it's not now. This retired Bobby Chacon, retired FBI specialist. We know that it's not. All right. We know it's not Monique, but I just want you to hear his thoughts. He's the guy that led the dive team and found Lacey Peterson, or he did the search for Lacey Peterson. That was a big deal. Retired FBI specialist like Jennifer Coffendorfer, and he helped establish the FBI's underwater forensic program. All right. We're just kind of talking this through for a moment. The bodies, I think, were in the same room, but I haven't heard much about the positioning of the wife other than one shot. All right. So anyway, you guys now know that 911 call was not Monique, but what can we gather from that call?
Boy, so now you have, okay, this is definitely her or it's not. So that's probably what they've done already. And now if in fact it was her, they're probably doing a very deep dive into the tranquility or lack of the domestic situation between these two. Now, obviously, everything we've seen seems like the perfect American family. They're happy, they're successful, 2 young children, the American dream, so to speak. But, you and I have both seen cases where that, on the surface, it looks like one thing and below it's another thing. So I'm not saying that is in this case. I'm not disparaging anybody. I'm saying investigators is something that I'm sure they're looking at.
Let me ask you this. I'm used to hearing crickets when something happens in a rural part of the country. It's hard to find clues in a rural part of the country. There aren't doorbell cams everywhere.
Yeah, but this is a good one right here because there's cameras everywhere. How are you going to get past that? Right? Look at Stephen Stearns. Stephen Stearns couldn't get away with anything. He got caught at the trash cans. He got caught at the front gate, and he got caught on every single freaking light. Right? And we don't even know what else. So how do you get past this without having video footage of the person or people that did this?
Cops are usually a long way away. People can make an escape before a body's even found. This is downtown Columbus. Why is it that we've heard nothing in over a week about clues? Why is it just that one little grainy backyard alley cam? Why not a hell of a lot more video in downtown Columbus?
Well, I think one thing struck me. It seems just like in the Jussie Smollett hoax attack. In Chicago was the coldest night on record. I think they call it a polar vortex. It was very, very, very cold. In this.
Hey everybody, do me a favor and welcome Dolores to the Crime Crew. She said I just came on your channel. I love it. I just subscribed. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, 3 a.m. winter crickets, right? You're not going to see other people out there walking by or around. It's just not going to happen.
In Ohio that night, I think it was in the low 20s. Nobody was out at 2 a.m. in that kind of weather. And so there was probably nobody else on the street. Now that could be an aid to them that's what happened in Chicago when they were able to follow those two individuals, because they were the only ones on the street. Because it's night, it's the middle of the night, and it's so cold that no one's out. So I think if they get more video of this individual, they'll be able to track him. But whether they have that or not, I mean, I have to assume they don't, or they would have put it out just like they put this out.
I don't think so. I think they have video that they're not putting out because they don't want to have somebody run off, right? But I do think that we absolutely need to have a press conference, and soon. What's up, Coffee Dog in studio? How you doing? See Becky, good to see you. All right.
So usually in a homicide, if there are other people present at the crime scene, it is a boon to investigators, right? They get all sorts of information from whatever, ear witnesses, eyewitnesses, etc. But we're talking about a 1-year-old who is, I don't know, effectively incommunicado, I think, when it comes to forensic interviewing. But a 4-year-old is a little more cognizant of big bangs in the night. But I keep wondering how the science is changing about how you interview children.
Now, listen, they did interview the children, and the children said they didn't know anything. Now, the 1-year-old didn't say that, but according to the brother-in-law, the kids didn't know anything, and they didn't give anything because they didn't know anything or see anything, according to the brother-in-law. Okay, so let's just take that out. Yesterday, or the day before, we asked ourselves, are the interviews going to be with the kids, and what did they see? What did they know? What did they hear? According to the brother-in-law, nothing. So, I mean, this is, how do you not hear a 9mm again and again and again in that neighborhood in such a close proximity to the next house? That doesn't make sense.
If you're allowed to interview children, if the guardians of the children can say, no, you cannot interview these children, can they?
Well, on the federal level, you have the Juvenile Justice Act, which prohibits that. The guardians can make that decision. And even in the rare cases that I had that involved minors who were witnesses, I would never do the interview myself. I would bring in experts. There are people that are trained and experienced in, and especially infant. So there's a range of children, right? So you have preteen, teenagers, you have young children, and like here you have a toddler, I guess, a 4-year-old. So I think there are people that are kind of very well versed and experienced in interviewing children of those different ages. And I would always bring in an expert to do.
I did think about that, and it's interesting. If they had a silencer, the only reason I was like, maybe not. People don't just have silencers. Now, yeah, you could absolutely use a pillow or an object as a suppressor, but it's just not one of those things that you see often, unless you're Luigi Mangione, all right, making your weapon and printing it. I don't see it often, but yeah, suppressor is a possibility. Absolutely, for sure.
Do that. What you want to hear from the child is, obviously you would think they would, even a 4-year-old would have been able to hear the shots. And so you want the sequence of shots. Was there a pause between it? Was there a quick succession of shots and then a pause and then another shot? We have one victim with multiple gunshot wounds. It sounds like we have a second victim with just one possible. So you want to know the sequence. That may lead to, and marry that with the forensic crime scene stuff, and maybe who was shot first. Because again, that's going to matter. Who was shot first here. And hopefully you ballistic.
Well, we know who was shot the most, but we don't know who was shot first. And Mary Beth, tell your husband it's well worth it to go to CrimeCon and meet your crime crew people there. All right? And whoever knows who else. But $350 is well worth it, girl. All right. Oh, come on.
And your child
did you hear yelling?
This internet.
Was there a man yelling? Was there a woman yelling? Do you remember anything that anybody yelled? I mean, all sorts of little things. 4-year-olds
very important, because you could have somebody yell something as if they knew the person. So if they knew the person, did he yell a name? Did they yell a name, or did they yell something so you feel like they may have known this person?
Now here's my conversation with Scott Rouse.
He's a forensic behavior.
That's what I wanted you to hear, the Scott Rouse interview real quick. It's only a few minutes, so hang in there, guys, with me. It's about 4 minutes long, and it's just all about the case. And we don't have much information right now, but we're talking it through, right? All right, guys, and you guys do me a favor, hit that like button, get your memberships, all that. We need to do a members only soon, so I'm probably gonna put a poll out and see what you guys want me to cover. All right, let's keep going. Scott Rouse,
expert and one of the world's top authorities on body language. And boy, did he see stuff in that grainy video that I didn't catch.
All right, this is what I wanted to share with you guys, and then we can move on. Thank you.
Mr. Rouse, I have been dying to talk to you about this skulking character that's walking through the alley. To many of us, the untrained eye, it's a skulking character walking through the alley. But I know that you see something else. What is it?
Well, there's a lot of things you can find out from someone by looking at their gait. That's how they walk. When you that space between their legs when they walk. So there's a whole lot you can learn here. In a situation like this, though, most everything we can learn, almost everything about the gait itself, sort of goes out the window because of the weather. Because this person is sort of dodging back and forth between those little eye spots and a couple of holes and things like that. So it's really tough to tell what's going on with the gait.
Thank you, Synth. I appreciate that. Let's go back to normal speed so we can understand what he's saying. But it means a lot, right? I mean, I'm sure law enforcement's doing that right now. They're profiling this guy. There's got to be something big that's about to come out soon.
However, we can tell that that's a guy. And some people may think it's a woman. It's not a woman. And the reason that I would suggest that or be under the impression that's true is because of, number one, look how far ahead his head is. It's leaned down a little bit. You can say, oh, it's cold. They're trying to do that. Men have a specific look to them when they get to a certain age. Their head starts coming forward and it'll lean forward. And that's the way not only when they walk that shows up, they'll just be sitting around and do that. It's a posture thing. And we're also looking at things like you look at things like the arms. Are they swinging fast? Are they swinging slow? Are they going far apart? What's happening? But he's got his hands in his coat because of the.
Now, remember, guys, you don't need to. That's all we really need to kind of get an idea of what was going on that morning or that night into the early morning. There's not 10 other people, right? There's not going to be 10 other people that we're going to see videos of walking by in 23-degree weather between 2 and 5 a.m. All right. And sorry if you guys hear the saw. Mama Pearl, they're making a lot of noise sawing stuff for you. All right. We got construction workers here. And they're sawing really loud.
The weather again. And the speed those things go back and forth is very important too. Is this person on a mission? Are they coming from somewhere where something's happened, or are they going somewhere to do something? In a situation like this, if there were a better situation weather-wise, we could tell a lot more, because we could tell if that person had
Now, you got to admit, guys, he does look like the way he's shambling around that he's absolutely aware of the camera on that side, and he's keeping his head perfectly down and at that straightforward. But again, I don't know. This guy is cold and he doesn't want to fall, so he doesn't need an ambulance. Oh, man. Oh, you can't hear it? Good. Thank you. Thank you.
There's so many. Are they in pain? Are they in a hurry? But he's trying to be careful as he does this. If you look at his feet, when his feet hit the ground, his foot goes up like this and then comes down like that. His heel goes way out first and comes down because he's trying to keep balance, trying to make sure everything is copacetic as far as walking forward.
So maybe he is drunk and coming back from the bar.
A whole lot going on here. We can't tell if he's in the military. Military people have a specific gait they walk at because they've done it 1,000 times, from marching miles and miles and miles. And so does law enforcement. They have a specific gait as well. No matter how long they've been out, they're going to walk that way, especially in the military, because that's the way they've trained to walk and been walking like that as they're marching for a long time. But it's really tough to tell what's going on with this one because of the weather, all the things that are going on there that just mess the whole situation up for us. But we can't tell it's a guy.
I wonder how many other people were walking toward the crime scene at that time in the morning. I really wish that he would come forward, that this person would come forward, if obviously he's not a suspect, and say, hey, that was me. I was coming back from so-and-so bar, yada, yada. And yeah, Cheryl, it could be a diversion and the cops are looking at someone else. Absolutely. Lomon Linda, thank you for the gifted membership, whoever you are. Love, love, love. All right, thank you. You're welcome. Growing up in Chicago, that is not so suspicious walking around in an alley. Just saying. Really? Not at 2 o'clock or between 2 and 5 a.m. towards a crime scene with 23-degree weather, and you're the only one out there? I mean, I don't know. I'm from California, so that would never happen here. But I'll take your word for it.
Literally that much.
20 seconds, but I've got to ask you this. And literally, I've got 20 seconds left. Does this look like a guy who's fleeing a double murder?
No.
No, it doesn't look like that, but it may not.
I also don't think he was leaving. I think this is the time where he was heading toward the crime scene. So we're probably going to rule that out. I think it was prior to, but we'll see.
And everybody's different. Everyone's unique when it comes to situations like this. So it could be anybody, but this doesn't look like somebody who in normal weather would be in a hurry to get away. And he may be thinking about what he's done. If that is indeed the guy who did it, maybe thinking what's happening. What did I do? I shouldn't have done that. His temper's probably gone down because it's probably somebody he knew that did that, most likely.
You have pointed out so many things I did not see. But now, at the very least, it's a he, because I've been saying a they, because the police aren't telling us. So, Scott Rouse, come back again when we get the next clue. I can't wait to hear how you can analyze it. Thank you so much for this.
All right, now we really need to get a press conference going, right? Right. All right, I'm looking to make sure what's going on. We still got a little bit left. I want to go over quickly this recap. We're talking about 8 a.m. the office opens, etc. What other cases do you guys want to see covered? I'm covering a lot of them, and so there's a lot of different possibilities of cases for me to actually continue covering, because we have so many that we have been. So let me know, guys. Let me know in chat if you guys have anything that you want me to cover, or send me an email if there's something that you want. Otherwise, I'm going to continue like Rob Reiner. You guys know the Rob Reiner double homicide, Nick Reiner. Today he had his hearing to plead guilty, and nothing really happened because Alan Jackson quit. So that's one that we need to talk up on. Yeah, Anna Kepner is one we need to talk about. Melody Buzzard. There's a lot going on. So you guys let me know what updates you want, and we'll continue doing that this week. All right. It's hard to start new cases when we have so many that we're already working on. All right. Notice no phone. Everybody's walking around with their phones. Yeah, he just looked like he was cold. That's what he looked like. All right. And so we ask, and welcome Dolores to the Crime Crew official. Thank you for being a member. Yes, Alan Jackson said, see ya, but I think there was a method to Alan Jackson's madness and that whole team. I think they absolutely used Alan Jackson as a way to make a campaign for Nick. And I think it was way too high. I think money got tied up. Remember, it was grandpa's money. And yeah, you guys want all the updates. Why no arrest? That's a good, I have lots of information on the Kepner case, but there is no arrest. You're right. When an attorney quits, it's because the defendant lied. But listen, Lisa Lynn, I got to tell you, Alan Jackson quit. But when he quit, he gave a statement saying that he believes, or not believes, that Nick is absolutely innocent. So it's weird. It doesn't make sense. All right. Yeah, we need to arrest Jen Soto live. And I've been wanting to cover the Jen Soto case because Law and Crime came out with the episode, and in the episode they put it as Jen Soto being a victim, and I don't like that. But you know what? If Jen Soto's never arrested, then technically in the history books she is a victim. All right. January 24th. Thank you, Shane. I appreciate that. Yes, he has a public defender. I'm telling you, the money is locked up. All right. All right, let's take a look at this, and then we will let you go. Class will be dismissed after this. So I definitely want to cover Nick Reiner and all of that. Okay, take a look real quick. So listen, one more time, guys. Was it an overreaction? And if so, why? That dentist office opens at 8 a.m., guys. This guy, Spencer, drives an hour and a half away to get to work. Okay, I don't know if he goes daily or if he drives up once a week. It'll make a difference later. Now, an hour and 3 minutes later, 911 gets a phone call to do a wellness check. All right, 9:22 a.m. They come, nobody answers. Not even 54 minutes later, the caller hears the children because he's outside of the home. And then 8 minutes later, caller sees a body. And 7 minutes after that, they find the bullet casings and the bottoms. All right. No, but CrimeCon are not sold out. The only tickets that are sold out are the ones that were $2.99. Anything above that, $3.49 all the way up, they're still there. So it's not sold out. Remember, the nasty potato loves you giving her attention. Allison, a lot of people don't like me covering that case. They're so mad. Every time I cover the Madeline Soto case, there are these people that go on these platforms and they say the nastiest stuff. So got to make it worth it, right? Has anyone said the last time someone had contact with the Tepes that, yes, this person said he had talked to him the night before or the day before? I know. This is the best timeline we're going to get right this second, but yes. All right, hold on.
New records released Wednesday reveal Spencer was shot multiple times. Monique was shot at least once in the chest. The Tepe family shared the couple's 2021 wedding video with ABC6 and Fox 28, showcasing one of the happiest days of their lives.
Mr. and Mrs. Tepe.
Exchanging vows inside of their North 4th Street home. They were just a month away from their 5-year.
Oh, and that's another thing. They had a wedding at their home. All right. And why does that matter? Again, it matters because 75% of all crime or break-ins or murders or kidnapping are people that you know. They're neighbors, they're friends. It's somebody in a close proximity that knows what you do, who you are, where you go, how you operate. So again, they had a wedding at that house. Whoever came to that wedding, right? Anyway, let's keep going.
Anniversary. A small memorial starting outside of the home as investigators confirm 2 children were found unharmed inside. It is unclear just how long those children were inside of the home with their deceased parents. Those who worked with Spencer at the Athens Depot are remembering him. On Facebook, they posted about celebrating his birthday just weeks ago on December 9th. We also talked with Dr. Mark Valrose, who owns the practice. He tells me, quote, "We are deeply saddened by the sudden passing of our colleague and friend, Dr. Spencer Tepe. Our heartfelt condolences are with his family and loved ones during this difficult time."
Now remember, I think the Tepe's universe probably revolved around that dental office, right? I think a lot of people that revolved around them were friends and coworkers and patients, and that's why they were the people that ultimately pushed so hard. Now, that's Dr. Mark Valrose that you see here, his name. He's the one that you heard call and say, "We're in Florida. I'm in Florida and I'm calling." And he's saying, "We're deeply saddened by the sudden passing of our colleague and friend, Dr. Spencer Tepe. Our heartfelt condolences are with his family and loved ones during this difficult time. We appreciate the community thoughts and prayers." That's the guy that you heard call in from Florida. All right. Okay.
Detectives are asking for the public's help. 4 friends carrying flowers and a soccer ball, keeping the memorial alive outside the North 4th Street home, where Spencer and Monique Tepe were found brutally shot to death Tuesday. Their 2 young children found unharmed inside. Unlike Tuesday morning, the crime scene tape and police cars that were parked outside are now gone. But we did see police doing guard duty at 2 homes belonging to relatives several miles away.
Interesting.
Those relatives didn't want to talk to us, and neither does Columbus Police, who told us, since this is an active investigation, we have no updates to provide at this time. Earlier this week, a CPD spokesman told us detectives were hoping the cameras around the...
All right, you could see the ring camera there, and then you can see this lock kind of, you can see it pretty well That lock is what people are talking about. There's a key code on that. There's a keypad that lights up when you touch it, and then if you run out of batteries or something, you have a key. So keep that in mind. Hello, Sarah. How you doing, my friend? Kara finally got a Guilty of Crime membership. Awesome. All right, don't recall Liquid and Scott. What else we got? Kat, good to see you. A lot of people are rolling in right now. All right, let's keep going. Anyway, that is a keypad, key code, and this is a Ring doorbell. So if the person went through the front, we're going to see who they were talking to all the way up until, right, people arrived on the scene or at the scene of the crime.
Tepe's house and on the street would point them to a suspect. But now, days later, homicide detectives are asking for help. They need anyone who may have video, photographs, or digital evidence, including suspicious individuals or vehicles from Tuesday, December 30th, between midnight and 9 a.m. to reach out to them. And the request covers more than just the couple's block. It's a huge area that covers Summit Street, North Grant Avenue, East 7th, and East 11th Avenue. Officers found no obvious signs of forced entry, and no gun was found at the scene. The Tepe's children, ages 4 and 1, are now in the care of relatives.
We're getting a better look at who Spencer and Monique Tepe were.
All right, you just heard that. They're in the care of relatives. All right, that's what we're doing. Y'all are funny. Still talking about pineapples.
Their family sending us a lengthy statement. They called Spencer a devoted and proud father, a loving partner, and a friend to everyone he met. They say he was warm, intelligent, and endlessly welcoming. Spencer was an OSU graduate, member of the American Dental Association, and fluent in Spanish. Their family says he was deeply committed to serving others, giving back through big brothers, big sisters. Sports was also a big part of Spencer's life, being a huge fan of the Bengals and, of course, the Buckeyes. They go on to describe Monique as a loving, patient, and joyful mother whose warmth defined her. She had a background in childhood education. Monique was also a baker.
Mr. and Mrs. Tepe.
Their family shared this video from their wedding. They also say Spencer and Monique shared a beautiful, strong, and deeply happy relationship. They loved to travel. They were
Again, you got to remember this was on Facebook. Facebook is never what it seems. All right. We have inquiring minds and we want to know. All right, let's keep going.
proud parents of their 2 children and their beloved golden doodle.
Spencer Tepe worked at the Athens Dental Depot. They put out a statement to their customers saying it is with heavy hearts that we share the sudden passing of our dear colleague and friend, Dr. Spencer Tepe, as well as his wife, Monique. He will be deeply missed by our team and the many patients he cared for over the years. Our thoughts and sincerest condolences are with their families and loved ones.
And, you know, we got to focus on the victims at this point. We don't know what happened or who didn't like who or what went on, right? We do believe it's a targeted hit with little to no evidence. Right after this, I'm going to read that article to you because everybody's asking about the children. And it just came out this morning. What happened to the kids of the Ohio dentist and his wife that were slain? Where are they now? And were they harmed at the crime scenes? I'm going to read that to you. And then we'll wrap it up. But hang out here. Hit that like button. Let's comment. Talk about pineapples. Whatever you want. Dog's name is Larry. That's another thing. Larry didn't bark a whole bunch. Nobody said that the dog barked a lot. They didn't hear dog barking. None of that we've heard yet, right? Even my little dogs would be barking when people come. It doesn't even have to be people they don't know. They bark when you walk up to the door. So what happened there? Did they let them in? Was it somebody there? What happened?
During this very difficult time.
The Columbus Police Department is now asking for your help in trying to solve the murder of Spencer and Monique Tepe. At the QR code just to the side of me, that is what they want you to scan. They want you to send over.
Scan that, girl. This guy is loud and proud, baby. Am I the only one that sees that? This guy's like, hey, scan it. Yeah, hit that like button.
Any digital evidence you may have. That means photos or videos that were taken on the morning of December 30th between midnight and 9 a.m. That was the morning police found the bodies of the murdered couple shot in their home. Co-workers of Spencer Tepe came to the house after he never showed up for work. Police found the couple's 2 young children crying inside. Their parents deceased. Nearly a week after the bodies were found, with no weapon at the scene or sign of forced entry, there is no suspect. On your screen is a map of the area. Police are hoping witnesses will come forward if they saw anything or anyone suspicious in the areas of Summit Street to Grand Avenue between East 7th Avenue to East 11th Avenue. As the family grapples with the loss of the Tepes, they're asking for help as well, creating a GoFundMe to help family members provide for the 2 children the couple leaves behind.
A potential person of interest. As the investigation nears its 1-week mark, police potentially getting closer to pinpointing a suspect.
I hope so. I hope police give us a freaking update soon. We've seen this guy a bunch of times walk by, right?
Main on the investigation.
And she just started hyperventilating, and it took.
And there he is again. They put him in almost every clip. He's been talking.
Took a minute to figure out what was happening, and then from there it was just like kind of an instant realization that all of our entire lives are never going to be the same again.
The Tepes would have celebrated their 5-year wedding anniversary in just a few weeks. Misla says their children, 4 and 1, are in good care of family, along with their family dog.
How do you tell?
Yes, the family dog.
She's never going to see her parents again.
You don't.
It's awful, but we've been giving them all of our love.
Misla describing Monique as warm, charming, and strong. Spencer known as calm, steady, and kind. With funeral arrangements in the works, investigators following the case closely. No interview was made available to ABC6 on Monday.
We'd rather have it done right instead of fast, and we understand that these kind of things is a process, and there's a lot of moving parts and pieces.
A loving couple, 2 young children left behind, with plenty of unanswered questions.
And what is your message to the person behind this?
This person didn't just
right.
take 2 lives, right? They took a son and a daughter.
Hey Tiff Knox, how you doing? It's been a while. Good to see you. Is it possible that you could turn the audio up on the videos? Yeah, I could turn it up. I've got them pretty high up, but if you need me to, we're all the way at like 600. Hold on.
And a sister.
Yeah, this gets a little lower.
Uncle, cousins.
That one's a little bit low.
2 beautiful souls who are just lovely parents.
That we don't know.
A major question also still remains tonight. Why would someone do this? If you or anyone you know might have information to help investigators, you can stay anonymous. Reach out to Crime Stoppers at 614-461-TIPS or Columbus Police. For now, on your side.
All right, so that's what we know. What happened to the kids? And then we're out of here, guys. We don't know about the cameras in the home. I mean, you would assume they would have cameras in the home with all the parties they got going there. And their 5-year wedding anniversary is coming up, you guys. What does that mean? Were they planning a party for that? Did a jilted lover or, somebody that was in a love triangle with them not like that? What's the deal? You say Spencer was involved in Big Brother. Makes you wonder if a relative of sponsored took exception. Huh. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities, and it's hard to narrow it down to one. All right, this came out this morning, what happened to the children. And let me just tell you, Spencer and Monique Tepe, what we know, they were found dead on December 30th. Children were left in there unharmed. All right. The dentist and his wife were parents to 2 children who were inside the home at the time of their deaths. The kids are being cared for by immediate family members. All right. They were fatally shot inside their home, and they were found unharmed elsewhere in the house. Again, guys, they don't say they were in their room and the children were here or there. We just know they were in the house. All right. Now, they shared that in the incident report that we read, and they absolutely ruled out a murder and then self-deletion. All right. Now, January 5th, we got that footage of the person we've seen a ton of times walking by. We know there are questions and concerns surrounding the tragic incident. Detectives are working diligently to solve this case. We will continue to update you as the investigation progresses, Columbus police say in a news release. Since the Tepes were found dead, their 2 children were both under the age of 4, have been cared for by immediate family members. Their family also launched a GoFundMe, which I shared, to help support the kids. Here's everything we know. We're not going to go over everything. I just wanted you to know what happened to the children. All right. There was a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old, and they go over this, heartbroken, lovely family, devoted husband, amazing parents, right? That's what we hear every time somebody gets their life lost. how great a person they were. We're never going to say, oh yeah, he was cheating or doing this or doing that. So this is what we have. This is pretty much all we have right now is this guy that's a person of interest. All right. 2 children were unharmed. After officers responded and found Spencer, they also discovered the young children. They heard the kids inside. They're being cared for by family members. In the days following, the family members, according to Audrey Tepe, I wonder if she has them. Spencer's sister had been, okay, so there it is. Spencer's sister had been taking care of the children over the last few days. Maybe they're going back and forth between Auntie Audrey and, the other family members. She says, we've had them for the past couple of days. They were just as happy and unfortunately unaware as they could ever be. So Rob is saying that they're in loving hands and they don't know anything. And even more people are coming by their side to make sure they're taken care of. So, I mean, again, it can come out later. Things can come back in different stages. We don't know. All right. There's a GoFundMe. The abrupt loss of Spencer and Monique has changed lives in many ways. Audrey explained the description. This fund helps to exist to provide stability and care for the children. Audrey describes Spencer and Monique as extraordinary people whose life were filled with joy, love, and deep connection. All right. They are proud parents to 2 beautiful children. They thank for the donations and help support the children. They're asking for $200,000 and I think they're getting close to the goal, guys. So let me pop that up and then we will move on. Don't forget to hit that like button. Let's see where they are on the GoFundMe. I really hope that the GoFundMe doesn't end up to be something shady, right? We don't want that. Where did they go? Where'd the GoFundMe go? Not right here. Hold on. All right. So there it is, supporting them. And I'll show that and then we'll get out of here. We still have 141 people in here. Hit that like button, supporting Spencer and Monique's children. They're a lot closer today. Look at this. Yesterday, they were at a little over 150. Today, they've raised 181,000 of 200,000. They're at their 91% of donations, right? And Audrey Tepe is the cousin. All right. Lots of people just donated and the community's coming together. All right, guys, everybody, we've been here for, 2 hours and 2 minutes already. Jeez. I really do hope that, I know, GoFundMe takes 30%. That's why a lot of people use Give, Go, Send, or Give, Send, Go, whatever. Dale says, you're good at what you do, Jay. It deserves a super sticker. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I don't know if I got a super sticker, but I appreciate it. And Carol became a member and Dolores just came a member. So thank you. I appreciate you all. All right, guys, we are getting so close to more updates, more things going on. Yeah, 30% is outrageous. Dale, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. Yes, guys, they're taking 30% of when it gets to the $200,000 goal. That is a lot. That's as much as the tax person takes, right? IRS takes 30%. See, Becky, time flies when we're having fun. Do you think they owed money? All right, let me just do let me answer one last thing. Do you think they owed money like they would be killed? Doesn't make sense because they would never get paid. Well, that's true, but we don't know if there was a gambling habit and maybe they gave Spencer plenty of time, right? And it could be Spencer, it could be Monique. We don't know yet. All possibilities are on the table right now. That being said, we got so many cases to cover, and I'm here for it with you all. So thank you very much. Holly, thank you for the 99-cent super sticker. She said, choo, choo. I'll say that for you. All right. Yeah, we know the home address. We've had that on there, and I looked it up in the last episode. So if you want to look into the home or whatever, please go back to my episode number 1 and check that out. All right. So 140 would be their share, and the rest goes to, yeah, that's a ripoff. Holly says 130 likes. Come on, guys. Thank you, Holly. I appreciate you. Since is telling you guys, go to SOS for fmds.org and go get your cookies from Cinch. She's going to hook you up. And Deb says, I think back to the GoFundMe. That's what makes me skeptical, Deb. I think back to the GoFundMe where everybody gave their money without even asking. And Jen and her family used it for whatever they wanted. And I think that was for a lawyer. Thank you. Yes, Deb. Yes. So be careful what you give money to or who you give money to, because you don't know where it's going to go. All right. So I'm not convinced yet about anything. All right. Peace out from the Mabs. Time to pamper the missus. Bye, Mrs. Mab. Bye, Mab. Thanks for coming by. Jen Johnson. Thanks, Jay, for you do love being part of this family. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for everything. Sadie's mama, big hug to you. I hope you're doing well today. You're going to go far in here, Jay. You're going to get to the millions. Well, I hope so. That'll be awesome. The more people we have, the more outreach we have, the more cases we have, the more support we have, all the better. Love you guys. And I will see you tomorrow, 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thank you all. Love you. Good to see you, Tiff. I'm so glad that you were here today. Good to see you. I hope you're doing really well. Good night, Deb. Good night, homegirl Sherlock, Naomi, Kat, all y'all. Love you. Couldn't do it without you. So thank you. All right. Get your cookies. Synth is peddling her cookies. Any digital imprint. I think she's doing M&Ms now too. I think you're able to print on M&Ms and candy, right? All right. And Wyatt, you need to start showing up on time. I'm going to give you a tardy if you don't come on time. All right. Michelle, Maggie, Mama Sage, everybody. Love you all. Big hugs, big prayers. And guys, do say a prayer that Miss Ann Horn is now resting in peace and that her family can find the comfort that she is no longer suffering. We love you, Ann Horn. You're making a big impact on this community with your life. You touched everybody that knew you, and we can see that. So may Miss Ann Horn rest in peace. All right. Love you guys. Husky lover, good to see you. Have a good night. Don't let your son yell at you over salami. Cut that salami up and whack him with it. Just kidding. Love you guys. Yeah, Miss Ann Horn passed away this morning, Foxy. I think you might have missed that in the beginning. All right. Miss Ann Horn, she was fighting the good fight, and she's done fighting the good fight. So 111, just hit in chat. You know what that means. That's a huge prayer for Miss Ann Horn, any children, siblings, and family members. God, man, that really choked me up. Just the sweetest lady. And all she wanted was to win Turtle Island once. But she did get that belt. May she rest in peace. Good night, everybody. Love you. Prayers up. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.
Guilty of crime.
I want to thank you for watching. If you enjoyed my content, please share this video, like, and subscribe. You can also follow me over at Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, or Gmail. If you'd like to donate to my channel, you can use Cash App or Venmo or PayPal. Thank you very much in advance. Guilty of crime.
Are you guilty of crime?